Well, good morning and welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I am Steve Smith. How are you all today? I hope you're well. I'm great. It's a beautiful day here, and and I have been doing the things that I most enjoyed doing in the day. By the way, if you're new here, welcome to you. And we spend the first few minutes here just kind of chatting. I bring people up to date with what's going on in other areas of the Stonemont world. And then we're going to get into today's topic of, what am I going to call it? I jotted it down here. Disconnect and change your life. And it's based on a message that I got from one of our great commenters and subscribers, one of our patrons over on the Patreon channel. And it is a great comment, and I want to read it and then get off of that. It's about really disconnect and change your life. Oh yes, by the way, did some of you notice something? Yes, I've had people ask me about it. Steve, you're drinking out of a different cup. What is that mug, pray tell? Well, this isn't the final one, but I thought I'd show it to you because I've had a lot of emails and messages asking when can we order the new mugs. Not quite yet, but pretty soon. Okay, this is one of the designs of the Stonemont Where Life is Good mug. I design all of my stuff. Oh yeah, t-shirts. I'll tell you about t-shirts in a minute. But I'm still there's still some tweaks that I want to do. I'm not totally satisfied with this. I want to change some of the font coloring. I know I'm not very good at this. I should get a pretty spokesmodel or something to do this for me, shouldn't I? Or Kelly, but she's camera shy. So anyway, I love the mug. I love the size. It's a 15-ounce mug. You can see one of the things that I like, I can get all my fingers in there, right? So I can actually hold it. It's like a mug. It's not like a 11-ounce cup. I like the shape. I like the size. Like I say, the design, a couple of changes that I want to make on it. But I'll get that done in the next few days. And then I'm headed out of town for just a little short trip down to Tennessee. And if I don't get it done before then, I'll have it done by the time I get back, and these should be available within a couple of weeks. Okay, so I'll let you know all about that, and there you go for that. But Steve, some of you may ask, what about American reversion? Well, I'm glad you asked, because I didn't forget about American reversion. Let me show you this. There's a whole set that I'm designing for American reversion, because we like to take our message to the world. We like to see our message. We like to see the things that remind us of the things that are important, right? And we like to have these things. So here is one of the mugs. I'm making a 6-piece set for people that want one or more or all or the whole set. There'll be 6 pieces initially in this set that carries great quotes of our founders. And this one, of course, is the picture of Washington praying, a very famous picture. And his quote is, "It is the duty of all nations to acknowledge the providence of Almighty God, to obey His will, to be grateful for His benefits, and humbly to implore His protection and favor." George Washington. And then, of course, down at the bottom you see where it says American reversion. And I know a lot of people want these and be great for gifts and things. Like I say, I already have a couple others designed. There will be 6 at least, maybe more. We'll see, for you to choose from. And there's that. But Steve, what if I'm not just a fan of George Washington, but I am a fan of more modern political figures? Well, let me... Surprised? I want an American, am I holding it right? American reversion. Do you like that? Do you like that? I know I suck at this, don't I? I really do. I'm sorry, but it's not me that you care about. It's the mugs, right? And these are all going to be available, and more, many more. Oh, within a couple, 3 weeks. We'll just see. I'm not going to put them out until I'm completely satisfied with the coloring and everything like that. And I'm kind of hard to please. I design everything myself, but I'm pretty picky about, I want it exactly right. One more addition to that. So these will be available on the website. In addition to that, there are new offerings on the website, stonemont.us, new t-shirt offerings, new designs, and new colors. Okay, I'm a real basic guy, right? I'm bland. I am the original gray man. I am the original greens and browns guy. Kelly is totally different. But my son, my 16-year-old son, of course, comes at it from a slightly different place. And I told him, I says, hey, if you think that there are other designs or other colors that you think people would like, you go at it. I'm gonna this is just a business of yours. And I told him whatever he puts up, whatever design he makes, we'll put on the website, and whatever sells, he gets the money. He gets what the profits out of it. And so that's kind of his business. So come to the website, stonemont.us. You're going to find some very nice designs that he has put up, and all of the shirts are now available in a couple of extra different colors, lighter than these were originally in what was it? Sand, ash, sage, military green, and my favorite, although I haven't made myself one in this other color, I think it's the prettiest color out there, and that is, it's called Royal Pine. It is neat. It is beautiful. And the shirts are first quality. They're a brand. Now I think the sand is Gildan, but all the rest of them are a brand called Next Level, and they are premium t-shirts. Go to there. You'll see them on the website soon. Same website. You can order my books. By the way, one thing, if you order books and t-shirts, I wanted to say this because I got an email asking me about this. If you order both books and t-shirts, they ship separately because they go at different rates. The t-shirts go first class, the books go fourth class, which is media rate, and that's what makes them affordable to mail, and they take longer. Okay, they just take longer. So if you've ordered both and the t-shirt shows up, you say, where's my books? They're coming. All right. The Stonemont series, my series, the complete guide to preparing for, surviving, and rebuilding after a complete collapse of everything, available on the website stonemont.us. Okay, now back to my next favorite thing to do today. I have a perfect day every day. I get up and get to do exactly what I want to do. I get up and I read the messages and I read my emails and I get back and I answer questions, and then I make some videos. I just put up a couple over on the Patreon channel, one for the normal level and one for the Stonemont level. What were they about? They were about one was about if you're going to fight, and the other one, the one on the main level was what to do with the money. It's answering a patron's question, and so I'm going to, and you should go see that. If you're not with us on Patreon, the link's down below, as are the links for my website and everything like that. Go down there and join us. We'd love to have you, and you'd get a lot out of it. Now, this comes from this comment. Actually, it's not a question at all. It's a comment that I thought was so good, I wrote it down that I wanted to cover it in this video for everybody on YouTube as well as on Patreon. And it's from Tom. I won't use his last name. Everybody on Patreon knows him. He's a great commenter, a guy with a lot of background and a lot of smarts. And he sent this in, and it was just such a great lesson, as are many of our comments. Not all, but a lot. He says, I grew up in a family, and this was, what was this, and why do we prepare? Okay, I think this was on that one. Why do we prepare? He says, I grew up in a family that was great, but usually short on money. Okay, many of us have that background, right? My parents both grew up in the Depression, as did mine. We're of a similar age, I guess. So they had the life skills needed to dance around the various financial difficulties. Boy, I remember that dance well myself. I started to learn prepping there. We were always stacking cheap food up in the basement for the lean times. People who came out of the Depression did that. I'm a history nerd, he continues. I'm just a nerd. I don't know about that. I've read a lot of your stuff, Tom. I doubt you're a nerd. I've always been interested in learning the old ways and old skills. The urge to prep partially grew out of that. I bet you read the Foxfire books, didn't you? A lot of you guys out there, have you read the Foxfire books? I gave those to my dad back when I was when they first came out. And now I've got his set since he's passed. What great books. And we read them, and it reminded us of what our family, what we had heard the stories from our family, you know. And what a great... Leave a comment if you have read the Foxfire books. A great, great series. And if you haven't, you can probably find them on Amazon, I would think. I don't know. So he says the urge to prep partially grew out of that. My wife and I have been flat broke and more than comfortable in our 41 years of matrimonial bliss. I like that he puts that. You know, matrimony should be. It's a gift from God. We often fell back on those Depression-era skills. And I want to join him in that too when he says, my wife and I have been flat broke and more than comfortable. Same here, buddy. We often fell back on those Depression-era skills I learned as a kid. We got awfully good at getting by on almost nothing. Right. You know, I had somebody leave kind of a rude comment not too long ago. I don't remember what it was on. It was disrespectful to me, and so I deleted it. But what essentially he said, he says, I look at you, and I've watched some of your videos, and what I see is affluence and comfort. I don't see a guy who's been able to live rough and hard and without anything and all that. And I thought, oh my, you know, you don't know, buddy. You do not know. You know, that's the thing. People, once they see something that looks comfortable, they have no idea the background or what went into it or what it took to get there. So I understand. I know exactly what you're talking about here. My wife and I have been flat broke and more than comfortable in our 41 years of matrimonial bliss. We often fell back on those Depression-era skills I learned as a kid. We got awfully good at getting by on almost nothing. We had a prepper mindset before we'd ever heard of prepping. Me too. I had never heard of prepping until that, well, I guess, you know, I had heard of the survivalist movement and all that. I was never a part of it. I just did it on my own, you know. So I figured it was the responsibility of a family. It was, you know, that Doomsday Preppers show that came out that I thought, oh, other people are doing this too? And of course they made a lot of them look like, you know, idiots, which was their purpose. He says, Y2K came along and got me to thinking about the weaknesses in the complex systems we rely on. The 2008 crash stopped the construction business here in Missouri. Boy, I remember that. Guys that I'd used as subs for years, guys that owned multi-generational businesses, sank overnight. Let me interject a story about Kelly and I had a business, among several businesses. We owned a tanning salon out in Olathe, Kansas. The reason that we put it was on the very outskirts of the town. It was the booming area of Olathe, which in a very good area of Olathe, it was you know, $400,000 or $500,000 houses up, and we put it in the strip mall. Kelly had always wanted kind of a tanning salon, you know. So I said, oh, okay, well let's do it. So we put it in, and it boomed. Well, the reason we put it there is because to the south there had been platted 4,000 more new homes, and the economy was roaring, right? Roaring. And I mean, the first year we were out there, we didn't have big enough bags to carry home the money. Now that's not right, because most people didn't pay us money. It was credit cards, right? But I mean, it was unbelievable. 2008 hit, and well, first we know a lot of people would start coming in February to get their tans for their cruises, right? It was an affluent area. The next year, about 2008, they weren't coming in, and we said, what's going on? And construction was booming out south of us. 4,000 houses were platted. They were, going to be built. Some were in the process of being built. We said, man, we're going to have to expand. We had waiting times of 2.5 hours. People would come into our tanning salon, and they would wait. We'd tell them it's going to be about 2.5 hours. They go, okay, all right, okay. 2.5 hours. We said, okay, we're going to have to expand. All of a sudden, the crash. You know what happened? Nothing was getting built. Crews were not showing up. Unfinished skeletons of framework all over the place on foundations. Nothing being built. Nothing. Our whole business collapsed. We were fortunate that we didn't lose everything, because we acted quickly. We were smart. We were able to sell the business. And they did fairly well. They didn't do near the business that we did, but we got out. And they finally ran it into the ground because they didn't do business right. But I remember that. The crash stopped the construction business here in Missouri. Stopped it everywhere. Guys that I'd used as subs for years, guys that owned multi-generational businesses, sank overnight. Families collapsed. Suicide. Businesses out forever. Never came back. I knew, he continues, could sense it in my spirit, that 2008 was just a warm-up for what was surely to come with this house of cards financial mess we live in. So we distilled and refined all of those skills that got us through the lean times. I'm sorry, I'm not reading your stuff well, Tom. My computer's at the at the wrong position to where my bifocals are hitting wrong. As we started to become students of the old ways, we learned. We failed. We slowly got better and better at a whole bunch of old-time skills. Skills that were commonplace through almost all of human history, that had been tossed to the side with the arrogance that only a deluded and destroyed tech-worshipping culture could display. That is a beautiful sentence. I wish that I had written that sentence. I want to say that again. This comes from a writer. Skills that were commonplace through almost all of human history, that had been tossed to the side with the arrogance that only a deluded and destroyed tech-worshipping culture could display. I heard a voice, he continues, that kept repeating the word disconnect. Since I seldom hear voices, I thought I'd better pay attention. We got out of debt, and we gained a greater degree of self-reliance. We had become preppers. And now our lives have changed in so many ways, I can't even count them. What a perfect testimony to what calls so many to prepare, to be preppers, to the importance of disconnecting from the system. Now, some will disconnect by moving out of, the cities or the suburbs. Others will simply disconnect by making themselves, and if you move out there and you don't disconnect yourself from needing what the society provides, you haven't really disconnected. So whatever you go, whether you're out in the country, whether you're in the suburbs, whether you're in the city, wherever you are, disconnecting means becoming self-reliant. It means reducing, hopefully to the point of totality, your need for anything the systems provide. Developing a self-reliance to the point where you are no longer, connected to or relying on those external systems, as I always say, those interrelated, interconnected systems that run the world, over which you have little or no control. And we don't, we have no control over them. Except as we replace them, as we replace the electric company with our ability to produce our own power, as we replace the supermarkets with our ability to produce our own food, as we replace the gas service company with our ability to provide heat, all those different things. And disconnecting from the company, from the rest of the country, disconnecting from those systems, gives us not only an autonomy that most people can't even imagine, but a peace of mind also that most people can't imagine. Now, we still prepare. When I say peace of mind, it doesn't mean that we're not concerned, that we don't pay attention to the threats, of the world. We do. You have to. You should. Not to do so would be silly. But what it means is we don't worry about them. We see them as situations to be dealt with. Challenges, Threats become challenges. They become situations to deal with, to prepare for, and to deal with. And from that disconnection and that increase in self-reliance comes an entirely new and different lifestyle. And one that's closer to the way God meant us to live, right? And I think, we have so many stories like that. So many over on Patreon. We have some on YouTube, but so many on Patreon where our patrons get into detailed, in-depth. I have 3 other letters that I want to read. I'll try to get to them in the next few days that are just such excellent examples of how changing a lifestyle, I should say, changes lives. And probably nothing changes lives more, except for the good Lord himself, than becoming independent of a corrupt and crazy world, right? So I wanted to read that from Tom. What I'd suggest to those out there who haven't yet reached that point is remember Tom's story, or you can remember my story to an extent. It doesn't necessarily come smoothly. It doesn't come all at once, certainly. It comes over a period of time. It comes with, some successes and some failures and some stumbles and some learning. But if you're headed in the right direction and you keep putting one foot ahead of the other and you keep going, your progress is assured. I always say that we are assured the effects of the causes we choose. And if we work towards self-reliance, if we work toward it in a responsible way, in a methodical way, you're going to get closer and closer and closer until hopefully you will reach that point of self-reliance. That was one of the ones that I put up over on the Patreon channel today. Was a guy who's retired from the Army and looking to kind of start anew. I won't go through the whole thing because I read his whole email to me and my response to it, and it's about really starting over and doing so in the most positive way you can. So take a look at your own situation, at your own life. Are you where you want to be? If you are, you're fortunate. Good for you. Way to go. Congratulations. If you're not quite there, don't lose heart. Don't feel like a failure. Understand that you're simply somewhere on the road. You're on the path, and as long as you got your eye on the right goal, and as long as you keep working toward it, that path is going to take you where you want to get. I know we never get the good things as quickly as we want them. They take work, and they take patience, and they take time, and they take some good decisions. But putting all those things together, mix them up in a bowl, and you're going to have a successful outcome. So think about that. See how it might apply to your life. Share your comments. I know many of you have your own comments about that. You have your own experiences. Share them, because they will help other people. And there are a lot of people out there that may feel a little frightened or confused or whatever, and they can learn. They can be helped by your comments. So do that. Be part of the community, and come over. Like I say, if you're not with us over on the Patreon channel, I'd love to have you, and I really encourage you to come. You will get so much more over there, and it's only $1 a month, and it kind of does separate. It's a different community, and if you're a good person, I'm sure you are, and you really want to know more about it and get the benefit of more people and their advice and things, that's where you belong. And the link's down below, as is the link, remember, to the website, stonemont.us. You can order the books through there, and you can put down if you want me to autograph them for you. I'm happy to I love to do that. I love my relationship with my readers, with my viewers, with my commenters. You can find them, and then also remember the t-shirts, new designs and new colors, thanks to my son. I think you're going to like them. I like them. I really do like them. I'm a pretty basic guy. He gets into different areas. No, they're not wild. They're cool. They are cool, and they're cool colors. I think you'd like them. And remember, these will be coming. I'll let you know when they're ready to order. They're not ready to order yet. They'll be up on the website when they are. I'll probably have the entire American reversion set done by the time I put them up. But I want to get them right, the way I want them. And I'm kind of a perfectionist in these things. So you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll probably see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.